I have a confession to make. At the risk of sounding like an absolute amateur, I made a very rookie mistake. This is not 2 ounces. It's 1 ounce. So I recently released a video where I compare 3 alcohol stoves, 1 commercially made and 2 DIY made stoves, where I make the statement that I'm using 2 ounces of alcohol to try to bring 2 cups of tap water to a boil. It wasn't. It was 1 ounce of alcohol. Considering that, the stoves actually came pretty close to bringing 2 cups of water to a boil with that 1 ounce. But that wasn't a fair test. I'm going to redo the test, and I'm going to show using 2 ounces of alcohol. First, let me tell you how I made the mistake. Here's part of the reason. Wasn't wearing my glasses. Hopefully I can bring this in close enough to show you. It may or may not show up in the camera, but the marking says 2 tablespoons, not 2 ounces. It wasn't until I flipped it around this morning that I see 1 ounce on the marking. I should have known better. Honestly, I should have. And that's what I apologize for, making that kind of a rookie mistake. How I should have known better? When I'm on the trail, I usually carry my alcohol in these. This is an empty 5-hour energy drink. Look at the comparison. Obvious that this little empty bottle will carry a lot more than this little cup will. Again, I'll try to get it to focus in. See if I can get that. This is just short of being 2 fluid ounces, 1.93 it says. And this is what I carry my alcohol in, so I just fill these up. I usually pour one of these into my little stoves, and that's when I use, not the 5-hour energy, alcohol in an empty one. All right, if you're interested in seeing what a real 2 ounces of alcohol will do in those alcohol stoves, stay tuned, I'll set up. Okay, so I have 4 stoves set up for this test. 3 from the original test and 1 additional stove. From the original test, I have the Lixada folding stove that is pinned, has the plate in it that'll hold a Trangia or the Elox knockoff. I'll be using that one. With the same pot, 2 cups of cold water that I used last time. I have the Fancy Feast stove that has the fiberglass wick and the stainless steel standoff. With that, I'll be using, all right, let's, I think I'm going to do a rearrangement here, of course. Same kettle, because it has a wide base, an aluminum kettle. The pressurized side burner made from a Febreze canister. I think last time it wasn't in good focus, so here you can see the holes, the portholes, and the little standoffs on top. There's an internal view of it. The directions for making these can be found on the internet. And this is a great little stove, and it'll work well, but it is fast. So let's see how that's going to work today. With that gets the aluminum pot. I'm trying to match it up folks, so I have them the same as last time. So we have this little kettle will go on the wick stove, a new pot being added in that'll go on top of the last and new addition stove. So this is very similar to the Lixada folding stove, except this is the one that has the notches to attach. But they all come with these little bowls in them, and their intention is either to use the solid fuel tap or liquid alcohol. So I'm going to be using liquid alcohol in this one. All right, let's put some alcohol in each of these. I'll be using 2 of these little measuring cups for each of these stoves this time. One, 2 in the Elox stove. Not sure if the plate will hold 2. It will not hold 2, but I'll see how much I can get in it. So that's 1.5 ounces. And that's all, it's not even going to hold 1.5 ounces. Okay. 1. Yes, I'm spilling a little bit. I'll let them evaporate before I start. 2. have to reach across. And the pressurized stove. And 2. Normally on the trail I don't use these little measuring cups like I mentioned. In the opening I use the little 5-hour energy bottles because they're nice and sturdy and hold 2 ounces. Okay, I'm going to get these lit. I wanted to do this in the shade so that we can see the one on the far right bloom and the flames of the others. Hopefully they all will. I'm going to start with the one on the far right so that it'll bloom. Yeah, I can see it starting. That is lit. I'm not going to light this one right away because it yeah, okay. Wick stove, hopefully you can see the flame on that. As these get ready, I've got my timer ready. Okay, that's come to a bloom. This has come to a bloom. And that is burning. Pot on. Pot on. Pot on. And pot on. Timer is started. As they come to a boil, I'll bring them back. Okay, not unexpectedly, 6 minutes 30 seconds. Water's boiling hard on the little side burner, and I can still see some alcohol left in it. That is a fast little stove, there's no question about it. Okay, progressing. It is now 9:27. The little boil plate, the little one with the little bowl, still has a little bit of alcohol, not much. It did bring the 2 cups of water to a boil, and that's with not quite 1.5 ounces. So that's good vindication for that. It has been 12 minutes and 7 seconds since I lit the stove, but the Fancy Feast has finally come to a boil. So vindication for the Fancy Feast with 2 ounces of alcohol. 13 minutes, 7 seconds. And we finally have a boil using the Alux in the Luxata folding stove. All right, let's wrap this up with a few comments. Okay, I was wrong. I apologize. 2 ounces of alcohol will bring 2 cups of cold tap water to a boil in a reasonable amount of time. Quite surprising results in terms of the difference times between the stoves. The little side burner was very efficient, very fast, brought it to a boil in just over 6 minutes, and I'll post the times on the screen. The Fancy Feast, actually no, it was the little bowl that came with the small stoves from China. That brought it to a boil, not unsurprisingly. It's just an open flame. There's no control over how quickly it's going to boil, but it did work. It did bring 2 cups of water to a boil using less than 1.5 ounces. Also very good. The Fancy Feast did it. It took a little longer, but it brought 2 cups of water to a boil. And finally, the Alux stove, it brought 2 cups of water to a boil. Probably could have got a little bit more efficiency out of it had I used a different pot stand with it, but that's the combination I like to keep. It does have that tray in it that allows the Alux to sit inside, so they travel together. And I find that makes just a nice little combination to carry. And again, as I mentioned, I'm not interested in getting speed out of these things. I just want to make sure they're going to do what I asked them to do when I asked them to do it. What can I say? I'm sorry. You were right, my viewers, that said 2 ounces of alcohol would work and would bring that to a boil. What's interesting is, I guess all along, when I had been starting wood pellets, saying I was using 2 ounces of alcohol, I was really only using 1 ounce of alcohol. I hope this doesn't destroy your faith in me. I hope you'll forgive me and continue to watch my videos if you find them interesting. If not honest, well, certainly I try to be honest, you'll consider subscribing to my channel. And until the next test, get out and explore. Take that path less traveled. It'll make all the difference. Bye for now.